Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up? So for people that don't know, this is Desiree Smith. If you're a diehard Tupac fan, I'm sure you've seen all the pictures online of her and Tupac while Tupac was in prison for the sexual assault case. I think it's safe to say that she visited Tupac the most while Tupac was in prison out of anybody. So with that being said, man, we're going to get into all that. We're going to learn about her history with Tupac, how she met Tupac, and everything else, man. So with that being said, we're going to start from the beginning. How did you meet Tupac?
I met him at a club called Mars. It was a hot club back in the 90s. And he wasn't supposed to be there. He just popped up one night with Bobby Brown. Biggie was there. You know, they came in, they were on the stage performing, and I was with my girlfriend, and she was a big Bobby Brown fan, and she was like, oh my God, I've got to meet him. And I was like, okay. She grabbed me, dragged me to the other side, and they happened to be coming off the stage at the same time that we got to the other side of the stage where the VIP lets out to. And we got caught up in the rush of everybody leaving. So, you know, we got pushed out the door, and she went to say something to Bobby Brown, and Pac heard her instead. And he looked at us. She was like, where you going without me? And he looked like, what? And he was like, oh, that's how you giving it up? So he kind of grabbed her wrist, my wrist, and pushed us out the door. And then, you know, once the craziness stopped, me and him made eye contact, and he let go of both of us and just started talking to me, and we just started kicking it from that moment, like something, you know, some sparks flew, some attraction right there. And he invited us to go hang out back at the hotel. My girlfriend declined. You know, he made a joke and stuff, and he was like, oh, you think your shit is gold? And she was like, nah, my shit is platinum. And he was like, well, you go home and enjoy polishing your platinum by yourself. He was like, and I'm going to take this golden coochie home with me. And then we went to the hotel. That's where I saw Biggie for the first time in my life. And he was there with somebody. He didn't have a room, so he ended up coming to Pac's suite at the Park Meridian with his guest. And, you know, we kicked it, laughing, joking, cracking jokes. Pac was very animated and funny and charming. And, you know, after that, you know, everybody went off in their separate ways. And that's how it all started.
So you met Tupac at the club with Bobby Brown and Biggie. You, Tupac, and Biggie left the club and went back to the hotel. Do you have any stories about Biggie when y'all went back to the hotel?
Oh, yes. He didn't, that night, he didn't, I mean, we met. It was like, hey, what's up? He came back to the hotel with us. He was with a female, and as you know, one of the Pac songs talking about you fuck a bitch on the couch, on the floor, all that. It's because he took the girl back to the hotel, and Pac had a suite, and he let Biggie, you know, do him in the living room. You know, we took ourselves back to the room.
So after that night, how did you and Tupac stay in contact?
I had given him my beeper number, and I ended up losing my beeper a couple of days later. And back then, you couldn't get your same pager number. You had to get a whole new number. So we didn't have cell phones back at that time, really, unless, you know, you was really getting money. You had those big walkie-talkie things. So I went to a club one night, and I ran into Biggie. And he remembered me, and he was like, yo, he was like, you know, Pac's in town, and I know I'm sure he would really like to see you. And I was like, word, okay. And he told me, don't leave the club without, you know, coming back to me. I'm going to try to get in contact with him, and I'll take you to him. So, you know, at the end of the night, as it was over, I'm leaving the club. I see him again, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to take you to his hotel. And we went over there. And he dropped us off, you know, me and my girlfriend. And Pac wasn't, I don't think he had spoke to Pac. I think he had just put that in the air. I don't know if he was, you know, what he was trying to really do. But he took us there. Some of Pac's people was there in a room. Everybody was drinking, smoking, playing cards. So we went up, we chilled. Big stayed for a little while. Then he left. And we stayed all night drinking, playing cards with the guys. One of them was David Hollister was there, and in the morning, Pop knocked on the door, and I answered the door because they told me, get the door. And that nigga walked in and was like, looked at me, remembered me, and was like, what? Like, that's what you doing? And I was like, nah, baby. I was like, Big told me you was here and whatever. So he was like, yo, I got to go do, shoot. I don't know what he was shooting at the time, but he had to go work. And he was like, meet me back at the hotel at 7 o'clock. We exchanged numbers again. He was like, we're going to go out tonight. And that's how I saw him the second time.
So I know you and Tupac used to hang out a lot when he used to come out there. So tell me some of the stuff you and Tupac used to do when he used to come out there to New York.
I would say that, I was supposed to meet him at Quad Studios a couple of weeks before he got shot. And I went over there, but his flight was delayed. So, he came to my block and was just hanging out on the block, like chilling with me out in front of my building on some late night after he finished recording what he had to record in the studio, and then we bounced. We went to clubs together, the Palladium, there was a Palladium on 14th Street, and partied. Puff's party, birthday party, the first one he had. We hung out there too. That was probably one of the most epic parties of all times, and everybody was there. Everybody was dressed up to the nines. Pac had on, he always dressed nice. Not like everybody else in hip-hop dressed, and not just regular suits. He was a little different, had a little more style, a little more swag. Everybody was dressed nice. I went there. I didn't know he was going, and we bumped up heads in there. And he was like, yeah, I'm just coming in here real quick to, do this, whatever. Meet me back at the hotel when you're done. You don't got to leave now if you don't want to, but, come back and meet me when you're done partying. And that's about it. It was just, everybody was on stage. Puff was on stage. Biggie, they were partying.